Enough of that. Looks like there's going to be plenty to do today as well. Yeah, that's all I need. That's all I need. Trust me, this is hurting me a lot more than it's hurting you. Yep. The things we do. I haven't been doing this in a while. Woo. This is what these halls remind you of. You know, this could be the Death Star corridor. I just need 2 stormtroopers around me, put me in some handcuffs, I'll be just like Chewbacca, you know? That's what this kind of reminds me of. I know, it's too early to be this Star Wars geeky, but I am. Yeah. Gotta get this filled up for next time. Don't want to go to the gym and have nothing but hot water to drink. Although some people like that kind of stuff, but I like to keep it cold. Alright, let's get the rest of this day on. So, yeah, nothing special, just a closet, if you will, a prayer room, meditation room, and there's even a seat in here to put on the old shoes or take them off. Move along, there's not much to see here. Off. Anyways, kind of expecting a call. Oh, there. Hey, what's going on? Well, you know, of course I am. You know I'm got those tickets, and you know I'm ready to go and everything. Yeah. Yeah. No, you know what? That was a tough situation that you were put in, but I think you handled it well. You could have quit, you could have given up, but you didn't. You stayed up there. I mean, that doesn't happen. Yeah. 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 Well, next time they do a panel, it won't stop me from getting up there and being on a panel with you. I think you've had better outings, but at the same time, with everything that you had going on, it's amazing that you even still came and that you didn't cancel. So I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure other people did too. Okay. Yeah, yeah. All right. Bye. It's a good friend of mine. We were sitting on a panel yesterday, and she pretty much forgot some of the material that she was going to say because she had been to the dentist before and was on some pretty good drugs. And so when it was her moment to speak and do her part on the panel, when it was her moment to speak, her portion on the panel, she kind of stumbled out the gate, but I give it to her. She did not quit. She did not quit. She kept going. So, man, I can admire that. She kept going. The force is strong in that one. Yeah, well, yeah. I know. I'm probably going to get cheesy after a while, but you know, we are talking about Star Wars. And was it been 10 years since the last Star Wars film? Which was, what, Revenge of the Sith? Which was okay, I guess. But I'm excited. I'm excited. You know, some people have asked me, so what do you think's going to happen? Do you think JJ's going to get it right, or is he going to mess it up? Yeah, this road's pretty bumpy over here. They're doing a lot of construction, so sorry for my jiggling around a bit. Even the shocks in the old car here can't dampen them enough. But people have asked me about, well, what do you think? You think JJ's going to screw up and do like the prequels, or do you think he's going to knock it out the park, or do you think he's going to be somewhere in the middle? Well, if he goes as far as just putting out something that's pretty mediocre, which I don't know how you could do that, it would still work, still sell, things would still happen, economy would move still, but I don't want that. I like to think that since JJ's also a fan, that he's going to make something spectacular. He's going to knock it out the park. I mean, how hard can it be? Just, at this point, just don't put any Jar Jar in there and trade Federation discussions and come up with midichlorians or something like that, and you'll be fine. And I think BB-8's going to be a fun character without being too, well, you know, too Jar Jar-ish. But anyway, we'll see, right? Gotta go see. Well, certainly lunchtime, and I'm definitely ready to go get some grub once again. Today, for lunch, man, that's the crazy thing about shooting during the week. You know, I only have lunchtime really to shoot anything unless I try to eat it or shoot at night or try to shoot early in the morning. But yeah, it's lunchtime, and so today we get to catch up with a good friend of mine who was a guest host on the show talking about horror films. We'll be talking to horror fan Mike today at lunch, and well, we'll see what he thinks about Star Wars and how close we are getting to Star Wars and all that goodness. Drive fast in Dallas. Don't let them kid you. Don't let them kid you. Oh man, I was getting real hungry for lunch, man. Let me tell you. Yeah. Whew. I was hungry. Yeah, I mean, it's good to talk to you, man, because I can tell you right now, there were a lot of people that were happy with that that horror film review that we did. You know,
I was really surprised at the feedback. It seemed like a lot of people were interested in our. I'm always shocked when people want to know my opinions on things.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And well, you know what? There was another horror movie that came out, right? Was it Krampus?
Krampus. That was the most recent one. It's a Christmas horror theme movie. Christmas horror theme? Yes. I'm sorry. It was a horror Christmas themed movie.
Really?
Really good. It actually was similar in tones like Gremlins, where it had like comedic elements. My major nitpick, I love the movie. My major nitpick really being that They want to make like a family horror movie, but man, the creature designs are so horrifying and so well done.
Really?
Really horrifying creatures. And it's all practical. 90% of it's all practical effects. There are some really cool like kind of gingerbread minions. They're like homages to Gremlins. They even kind of like do the Gremlins like gibber like. But but those are pretty much the only computer generated effects. Everything else seems to be pretty much practical. Really good stuff. Maybe one or two more computer generated effects, but just really cool.
Wow.
Visuals, I thought really good pacing on the story. Yeah, that was just good. Just a solid movie overall. It's, I really enjoyed that one. And of course, I saw your review. You pretty much agreed with me. We both saw Creed and loved that.
Oh my gosh.
I was telling someone Creed's the best film I've seen this year. Krampus is probably the most fun I've just had in a theater this year.
Krampus. Yeah, yeah. Well, I remember when Jurassic World came out, and you were talking about how that was kind of like the first horror film that families could kind of go to in a way because it had all the elements in it. And
I was forgetting completely about like Gremlins, which I think that would also count. Gremlins would also. I did say that, and one thing I also want to add on is that it gets a kind of a bonus because it wasn't trying to be a horror movie. It just had all those great elements to a horror movie.
That's right. That's right.
Whereas all the other movies like Gremlins and even Krampus actually were trying to have, or they were effectively trying to be a horror movie as compared to Jurassic World, where it's like, oh, we just happen to have elements of a horror movie. That works out for us.
No, I think that's pretty awesome. You know, it's been actually a pretty decent year for movies in the last 2 months, don't you think?
Agreed, but I'll also counter.
Okay.
There hadn't been that many movies the last 2 months. Just the movies that have just been really big hits.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like this year, Universal did great, right? Because they had the Fast and the Furious, and that went bonkers. Yep. They did Jurassic World, and that went bonkers, as we know.
I'll tell you this.
And then even Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton. And then Krampus. Krampus is Universal. And it's Universal, and it's, I'm pretty sure it's Universal. But the thing that surprised me, I've yet to see a bad movie by them, it's Legendary Pictures. They did the Godzilla 2014. Like, I'm pretty sure it was Universal, but I straight up, when I saw that weird logo they have, Legendary, I was like, whoa, well, I'm in for a treat. Because I've loved everything Legendary. And in fact, the kid in his home has a Pacific Rim figure because they did Pacific Rim. He actually has like 2 Pacific Rim toys in his room. And I was like, hey, what a cool little, a little nod.
That is pretty cool. Well, you know, since we're talking about movies, and we're talking about 2015, Christmas time. Christmas is always the end of the year. People start making plans to go travel to see family, and then others are going to use it for vacation time as well. But this year we got a little special Christmas present that's going to come out a few days before Christmas. And it's a movie, and we love talking movies, but man, Star Wars The Force Awakens.
I mean, biggest movie in the last 30 years. Yeah. Biggest movie. Probably the biggest film with expectations since episode 3. And probably this has more expectations. The more weight you put between something, the build up will be massive.
Wow. No, you're right. You're right. And think about it. This movie, if it does what it's projected to do, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot, it's going to do it in the box office. It's going to do it in toy sales. It's going to do it in revenue. It's just going to do it in every... They
believe in this movie so much. If the rumors are to be believed, 65 million just in advertising. In advertising. For a movie you don't need to advertise.
Right.
Just I was discussing a while back off camera. I think this movie is easily going to do 800, 700 million. That's just opening night. But if this movie gets to $1 billion would depend on if it's just better than... It just has to not be the worst movie ever made. Yeah. Like, it would have to be worse than, as you probably guess, and it's the number of the video. Star Wars Episode 2 is one of my least favorite films. Of all time. It would have to be worse than that to fail. I mean, it can't fail. It's already going to make... It would have to be worse than that to not get $1 billion, to not break records.
No, that's right.
I would totally agree.
Same with Jurassic World. The reason I feel that broke records was because it was already going to get a lot of money, but word of mouth has a lot more power than people give it. And
true.
people will say, hey, the movie was... From someone saying the movie was okay to it was very good will make me a determining factor on if it gets to $1 billion.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm thinking, I'm in that school of thinking that it's definitely going to do $1 billion. I'm just trying to guess about how fast, because Jurassic World this year broke $1 billion in about 4.5 to 5 weeks, which was the fastest ever.
I think this is going to stomp it. I think this will blow it out of the water.
Okay.
If it's just not bad, because you want to know there's precedent for this.
Yeah.
You know this rant, they don't yet.
That's
so I'll
okay.
explain it.
Share it.
X-Men Origins Wolverine came out around the same time as The Dark Knight.
That's right.
And people will tell me I'm crazy, but I'll never forget. Around when Wolverine came out, Wolverine I felt was a bigger character in the kind of the social media than Batman was at the time. Because keep in mind, this is before Dark Knight. This is before the X-Men movies had been coming out more regularly.
Right.
I felt Wolverine should have made more money than Dark Knight if it had just not been a bad movie. If that movie wasn't garbage, it would have. I think it could have beaten Dark Knight. It just had to not be bad.
Yeah.
And it was. Not only was it bad, it was like
Yeah.
one of the worst movies of that year.
Yeah.
One of the worst superhero movies of all time. I guess argument can be said for like Elektra and Catwoman, but
Yeah. And what are the Ghost Rider films?
Ghost Rider films. Hey, but I always say, man, I always give a little bit of leeway to the first one because everyone has their favorite bad movie.
Yeah.
The second one's just awful. But fun fact, your fans will know.
Okay.
I always keep track of how long I've been growing my dreads because I started growing my dreads on the release date of the second Ghost Rider movie.
Interesting.
We walked out of the movie. It was awful. Me and my friends walked out and we were like, so anyway, Mike, you plan on growing out your hair? And I was like, yeah, you know what we are. Didn't even talk about the movie. That's the movie didn't even matter. We decided to talk about my hair after that.
Well, you know what? That's interesting. I wonder what people are going to do this year. Kind of like your story with the hair, because people movie like Star Wars. It's some people's, they got married to the theme. Some people got met because they were in the theater together and had figured out that they like. So I wonder what kind of things people might do this year. The neat stories we might hear.
And we're gonna see a few good ones. I'm just like I said at this point. It's at a point where it will not fail. We're gonna get a sequel. There's no way it can fail. The same thing as we were talking about before, Ninja Turtles. That movie, I'm a Ninja Turtles fanboy as much as it gets.
Sure.
The movie wasn't very good. Now, I wasn't expecting Shakespeare, but also I did a little bit more. That said, it made the money. It got a sequel. That is a great example of a movie that isn't very good. It's not terrible, but it isn't very good.
Right.
They only look at the bottom line.
Yeah.
And it immediately gets a sequel. So no matter what, this movie's gonna get a sequel. That's just even if this is awful, we might as well just hunker down and get ready and hope they do better the next time. The only way this movie can possibly fail, like I said, I'm beating a dead horse here.
Yeah.
It would have to be an awful movie, and J.J. Abrams has yet to make a bad film. He's a very talented filmmaker.
He is.
My personal least favorite is Into Darkness.
Right, mine too.
But
by the way,
of his movies, agreed.
Right.
And because Star Trek 2009 is one of my favorite movies. Just has great opening, great music, great. Everything's firing on all cylinders.
Yep.
Second one just feels like they're kind of just on a checklist. Just like here's what a summer movie
Avengers:
needs.
Age of Ultron.
It feels like it's just a checklist. Like here's all the things we need. We need witty, humor, funny. Or rather, with Star Trek, it felt like that. What did everyone like about the first movie? More of this, check. More of that, check. So they didn't get space battle on the second one, so that's why it's terrible.
Right. Well, as it relates to The Force Awakens, what I'm really, really excited about is the fact that, think about it. J.J. Abrams making this movie, I don't see how he could fail in the sense that when the prequels came out, the internet wasn't what it is today. And there's so much information out there that you can get on the internet about any of those movies. And you can get feedback. Like, how a lot of companies always have a questionnaire they want you to fill out and all that stuff. Well, you don't literally have to do that now. If you want to find out what people think that are using your product, it's on the internet.
Agreed.
And I don't think that JJ needs to listen.
alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think JJ needs to listen to everything that we say, but he can get a pretty good pulse of what are hot buttons and what aren't hot buttons for people. And I like to believe that he's smart anyways.
Yeah.
He already knows how to direct anyways. But I have to believe that we might just be on some greatness here. I mean, could this film, think about this, could this film be better than The New Hope or Empire Strikes Back?
I don't know. Like I said, I just think, let's just say, I'll put it like this.
Okay.
If that movie turns out to be even of, it would, to me, from what I'm saying, it would have to be equal this. It would have to be on par. If it is on par with your New Hopes or Empire, because while Return's my favorite, I can even admit it's probably the weaker one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry guys, that's my phone.
It's real life, baby.
Yeah.
Real life.
If I'll leave on this message.
Okay.
All right. I believe of this movie, if it will be a success. All right. That's my. I think we can all agree on that. There's no way it can fail. Just from pre-order sales alone, it can't fail.
Agreed.
If it will, how quickly it gets to $1 billion depending on the quality of the movie. Let's just say it's average. It will get to $1 billion.
Right.
But we're talking a movie that is on par, if not better than the original Star Wars trilogy. You are going to get the highest grossing film of all time. I can say that because word of mouth. Look at Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That was a movie. Let's be completely honest here.
Yeah.
That movie shouldn't have done that well. But it was a combination of word of mouth. People were curious about the final role of Heath Ledger, and every critic saying it was one of the best villain roles ever, and it was a great superhero movie. It's up there with one of the best superhero movies of all time.
Yes.
And it showed.
Yes.
To me, very rarely, and it does happen, but very rarely does quality not equal success in Hollywood. Don't get me wrong, we could all name 30, we could do a list one day about great movies that bombed and that bombed just because no one saw it. But I want to say Hollywood and people in general want to see good movies. People don't like seeing bad movies.
That's right.
And if a movie is of quality, people will see it. And I think if this movie is, and we're not talking about just average, like we went and said we enjoyed the movie. I'm saying we went to that movie and we had Creed, the movie Creed level of like, it had amazing cinematography, amazing acting, amazing special effects, like across the board. Like this is gonna be the game-changing movie. Like soundtrack. If it's that great, it will easily get highest grossing movie of all time. Easily.
Yeah, and you know what? And I couldn't argue that. I couldn't counter that. I think that's exactly right. So, on the personal level here with this film, I've been talking about this with a bunch of folks. The question with people like us, you know, fans, very passionate about movies and especially Star Wars. The question isn't if you're going to see Star Wars, but how many times you're going to see it. So how many times do you think you're going to see this film?
If it gives you an indication, I told him this. I saw Krampus twice.
Okay.
And I saw that twice because my friends, they asked me, what do you think, because it's just hanging out with my bros. Like, what do you think we're going to have more fun enjoying? And I was like, you know, as much as I love Creed, it's more of like a thought-thinking kind of picture. It has some cool fights, but Krampus is a movie where it's like, oh man, wasn't that awesome when that exploded? Yeah! I think it's going to be two things for me.
Okay.
Because if it gives you an indication, I only saw Age of Ultron once, but I saw Avengers 3 times in theaters.
Right.
Okay. It's gonna be on enjoyment level and quality of the film. So if the movie's a freaking masterpiece like Creed, I'll go see it again.
Yes.
If the movie is really enjoyable, and I guess it would have to be still decent. I've enjoyed movies that I never saw again. Like I saw Ghost Rider. I enjoyed the first Ghost Rider a lot. Only saw it once in theaters because I was like, it's a good movie. So like Krampus is a good movie that was enjoyable. I went and saw it again. If it meets any of those two requirements, I'm gonna see it at least twice. And then at that
minimum,
point,
the minimum is twice.
If it meets those two requirements, because like I said, if it's just average, where if I walk out of it and said, it was pretty good, it was entertaining, I'll be the only time I see it. And to me, it will make its billion on just being average. It's how quickly and how huge of a success depends on the quality of the film. So I think that's my prediction.
Well, if you can imagine, for me, it's going to be okay. So the first night I'm going to see it because I'm going to see it with everybody. So that's on the 17th at 11:30. Even though, you know, by the time it turns to midnight and becomes the 18th, we'll be in the theater. So there'll be one time because it's more of a party thing and everybody all together. All of us are sitting on the same row. I imagine I'm going to want to go watch it by myself critically. So I'll probably want to go to the matinee. You know, the next day at 9 o'clock in the morning where there's probably very few people in there, and watch it that way. And then if it's really got the action that I think it's going to have, then I can see me going to see it in the IMAX. And then if it's really, really good, I can see me going with a couple other friends who couldn't see it that opening weekend, because there's going to be multiple
And
viewings.
see,
So-
I like one of your viewings is seeing it for review purposes, which I don't really have to do because I don't have a
Right.
a big fancy YouTube channel. I keep it real.
He keeps it real.
He's real. You have to come to me and
That's
ask
right.
me for reviews.
Real cloaked. He's in cloak mode.
But all right, it's great talking to you again as always.
Michael, I appreciate you doing this. And even though the restaurant wouldn't let us film in there, if you're wondering, why are those fools sitting in the car? That's pretty much it. So I
And
appreciate
the
you
other
willing to do
restaurants that probably didn't care or would had blaring music. So,
That's
but
it.
like I said, it's perfectly fine. I actually like this a little bit better. So.
that. Yeah. No.
Yep. Yes, yes. Now that's Star Wars.
Nothing will stand in our way. I'll show them the dark side.
Kylo Ren. Please don't kill him off in the first movie like they did my boy Maul.
You might need this.
Yeah. Solo. My boy. It's good right here.